Okay, I'm going to answer a question here from the Intuit forums. Or I'm going to attempt to. The question is about implementing single sign-on with Rails 4, OpenID. This person, Stephanie, is asking, and they refer to my article, which is right here, about integrating Rails 4 single sign-on. This was with the QuickBooks gem, but actually doing single sign-on is separate from the gem. So there's a lot that can be used here, but we're having a problem. And the problem is she's continuing to get invalid credentials. So I am going to separate this from devise and try to do a basic solution here to see if I'm getting any problems. Now, she also posted information here on some gists, and as we look through this, let's see here. This looks a little unorthodox here. I guess this is in the controller config initializers. And okay, running some output. Maybe that's from console. And here's a controller, simple controller. Okay, so let me go and start up a new project. And she did mention she's on Ruby 2.0 Rails 4. Okay, so I have Ruby 9.3 here. Alright, so I'm going to switch into Ruby 2.1.0. Okay, we got Rails 4.16. Alright, so let me do a Rails new. We'll do Intuit single sign-on. Let's skip tests. Okay, let's let that bundle install, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Everything bundled successfully. Okay, let me go into the app. Make sure I'm still on Ruby 2.1, and let me start up a tmux session. Oops, I'm switched back to Ruby 1.9.3. Okay, in my tmux, let me kill the session, and I need to do get the Ruby version for RVM here. So let me copy SDK Rails Ruby version right here, and that's all right. Now if I do my tmux session, going to be in the right Ruby version. Okay, let me do some of the plumbing work. Go to the gem file. Let's put the OmniAuth stuff in. Gonna bundle that up. We're gonna do a config initializers, OmniAuth, and let me see. Let's see here. Let me take this from clipboard. Okay, this is just a basic setup for OpenID within OmniAuth. We're hooking into the middleware. And come to think of it, let me start up a... I get the Git repository going so I can start recording some of these changes. Get them in a change log. Git status, let's do... Okay, so let me go back to this. Okay, so this is the This is actually my blog post too. This configuration for OmniAuth. Let me just go down here a little bit. Copy and paste some things from here as well. Where is that? Oh, here it is. And this identifier is very important. There's not a lot of documentation on that, but let's go back here now. And I'm going to make one other change in the initializers. Go to the cookie store. Ruby OpenID 2.5 is not working well with this initial cookie serializer in Rails 4.1. So I'm going to change this to Marshall. And let's go back now. Okay. And let me open up the routes. Okay. Start getting a little bit going here. So what do I want to do? Let me do a login controller. So let's do Rails generate controller, and we'll do login. We'll give it an index and a callback. Okay, Spring is running the first time there. So let me open up new tab here. Okay, good. It's got that. Should have made us do another Vim tab for the views, and I'll do an index view there. Okay. All right, I'm gonna grab Stephanie's, some of her stuff here. How about grab this here, her login. How do I get everything here? Oh, that gets all of that. Okay. Okay, let me take a look at this. Why don't we just do a basic auth into it here, and go back to routes. Let's get rid of these two and put a root one. Index, and Stephanie mentioned using subdomains too, and sometimes that's going to matter. I asked a question about subdomains. She is using subdomains, so let's put in subdomains as well. And do a catch-all here. So domain. I'm just going to use the regular hash rocket there. I don't know if it matters, but it's the way it's done a lot. So we're going to do a catch-all match. So when we log in, and then also for the callback to OmniAuth, we want to match the auth provider, which is just going to be Intuit in this case, callback, and we're going to map that to login callback, which is one of the routes I made there in that generate, and want it for both get and post. Okay, let's save that. All right, let me go back to the controller code. Let me get rid of this. That should be in its own tab. And let me go over to my blog post here, see what is going on for that callback. Okay, here's the callback here for OmniAuth. So let's grab it all. Let's see, right to there. Copy it. Let's paste it. That is going to go up here. And I'm calling this method callback. This is important. You'll get an error if you don't have this in. Rails will throw an error. So make sure that goes in. And let me get rid of that. Okay. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. So, got to make a user. So let me do that. Okay, bin Rails generate model user email password. Oops. Let's try that again. Bin Rails generate model. I didn't even see what that error was. Email and password. Okay, that worked that time, whatever it was. And bin rake db migrate. Oops, what am I getting here now? Let me look at this error. Syntax error. Unexpected. Okay, let's take a look at that. Something's wrong in the routes. But why didn't that have a problem the first time? Oh, I got a comma there. Shouldn't be there. Okay, let's go back and let me run that db migrate again. Okay, that's in. Let me open the user model and let me grab that code too for find. I'm talking here about find for OpenID, and that is right here. Let me cut and paste that as well. Oh, it's grabbing that end. There we go. Okay. Let's get the indentation right. Okay, so this is going to make a simple. I gotta take the devise stuff out, and I don't think we need signed in resources either. Okay, so we're going to pass in the OmniAuth hash. We're going to look for the user by email, and then either that or we're going to create it. And I got to get rid of this. Okay, let me replace that with a sort of a standard generation hash. A generate token method here. Just grabs a hex digest. Okay, now let's go back to the login controller. And we're not going to need this current user stuff. We're not going to need that. Let's put this in an if. Because the persisted is from devise. We don't need this. Okay, if we do find the user, we're going to want to set a session ID for user. And we would just want to persist that ID in the session. And the sign in this is also devise. So why don't we make something like a start center controller where we can redirect the user. So let's go back. Let's generate controller start. Just do a simple index there. Okay. And let me open that up. Okay. Okay, let's not get too distracted with that. So this will be like a redirect to start index URL. Okay, so we can get rid of this. This will be a failure, so it would just go back to the root URL. We can put a notice on that. Fail. Okay. Let's add the start route. Okay, it gave us that start index, and okay, wait, I'm not calling the right. I'm trying to call. There we go. Okay, let's also have that under the subdomain constraints. And let's open up that start sender index. And we'll just do an H2. Welcome. We'll call this. Oops. Current user email. Let's close those double quotes. Okay, now I need to go to the index start controller, and we can just call current user is equal to user find session use. Oops. User ID. And let me just get a commit in here. That's, I'm using GCAM. That's an alias for get commit all. And let's do plumbing or initial setup of Omni auth and basic user creation and or auth. Okay. Okay, I'm ready to fire this up. Let me go over to this general purpose window. Do bin rails server. Okay. All right, so we're booted up now. Let me open up a new tab. And we'll do tests. Let's do that. Test LVH me. Okay, we have the sign in with Intuit button. Okay, it's making the call now. Okay, yes. Let me do my test developer account. Okay, keeps asking me about this nonsense. No. Okay, so we are successfully signed in, and I'm just going to leave it right there, and then maybe Stephanie, you can get back to me. I'll post this on GitHub. Maybe this will help you, or maybe there's another problem you're having. We can have a conversation, but I've ripped out the devise implementation, just put a basic user creation and authentication method in there, and let's see if we can move to the next step. I'll put put in probably here the YouTube video, or perhaps if I'm able to put this in a blog post, I'll put this here, and then we can continue on here, Stephanie, and see if we can't get this implemented for you.